My traditional native name is Wabi Nakus Nakayosa, which translates to white otter walking at a distance. In 1908, they changed our family name from Nakayosa to Walker because my dad's father was a message carrier for our people. He would walk the message to it or jog the message from one village to another village to the council. My stage name is Chief Nakahoma with the Atlanta Braves from 1969 through 1985. 1969, we went to the Western Division. We won it under the manager, Luman Harris. Bobby Cox built a team in 1980, and then they let Bobby Cox go, and Joe Torrey, who used to be a catcher for the Braves back in 1965, took over the team as the manager. And he's been the manager of the New York Yankees, and he's been a lot of places as a manager. But Bobby Cox was let go, and he took over the Toronto Blue Jays, and they went to the Western Division Championship and went to the World Series. Bobby Cox eventually had 13 titles as a manager for the Braves and for the Toronto Blue Jays. The front office eventually thought we might have made a mistake by letting Bobby Cox go. So they hired him back in 1990, 91. The Braves went to the World Series. But in 1982, when I was with the Braves, we won the Western Division Championship. I went to a Little League game in Douglasville, Georgia, 1974. And there was some little ragtag kid, black kid, dirty t-shirt, shorts, a pair of scruffy old tennis shoes, and about 12 to 15 years later he became a player for the Braves known as Terry Harper. So we don't know what kind of effect we have on people. Rick Bird, Chopper, you guys that are carrying on the traditions of our people, whether you're Seminole, Miccosukee, Choctaw, Micmac. This is the people that I've seen here. Navajo. We are still carrying on the traditions of our people. In 1969, you would not see a powwow in the state of Georgia or Florida. But we as parents tried to teach our kids the old way. And eventually we did start having powwows in 1974. American Indian movement didn't like the idea of an Indian being the mascot for the Atlanta Braves, so they called me a damn sellout and a turncoat. I am a veteran from the 2nd Infantry Division. Yes, sir, I appreciate it. And I also was in the 7th Cavalry. Now, what the hell is an Indian doing in the 7th Cavalry? If you know your military history, that was Custer's outfit. You think I wanted to be in Custer's outfit? I went to the captain and I said, I want to change my orders. And he said, Walker, your records are standing. Stand down. 1963, we had the Cuban crisis. At that time, I was in a nuclear weapons unit. We sit on the railhead for 2 weeks, ready to go to Cuba. Had 4 nuclear rounds in the track, ready to take on Cuba. You guys that were veterans back then know the Marines were on ship, ready for invasion. 1964, they put me on the radio because I had a secret clearance and I could speak my native language, just like the Code Talkers. Kigas Nasamaba, would you want me to say? So they put me on the radio. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I said, Alpha 6, Bravo 6, Charlie 6, stand down from operation, prepare to strike. The President of the United States just got shot. We didn't know if Harvey Oswald was Russian or Cuban. We sat on the railhead for 2 weeks, eating sea rations from 1944. Some of them sea rations were so old, they were about as old as I was. You smoke one of them Lucky Strikes that was in the package, and it was worse than smoking a marijuana cigarette. I respect my elders, even though I am one for the Ottawa people, or Ottawa, as you might know, from Canada. We were great warriors. We took over Fort Michilimackinac in 1763. Every time the Indians win, it's a massacre. And every time the military won, it was a victory. We as Native people cherish our warriors. And the warriors are trained hand-to-hand combat. They know that's the way they're going to fight. So that's why they will carry a tomahawk, a knife, or a spear, because they know that's the way they're going to fight. They're going to put their hands on the enemy. Back in the 17th century, there was a man named Robert Rogers who put together a unit of soldiers, and they called them Rogers Rangers. And they were living like the Indians. Pick up your weapons as you go. Eat on the trail. Don't leave on the trail that you went in on. Keep your powder dry. Travel and hit them when they least expect it. Cause a diversionary action before you go into the fort. In 1957-58, they started Special Forces. And they adopted the tactics of mountain rangers. Special Forces was the elite group, and out of that group became the Delta Force. But they operated on the same principle of the native people hit them when they least expect it. They gotta sleep sometime. And that's the way the military operated from the learning of the Navajo people and other tribes. The Code Talkers were very important during the Second World War. The Japanese was breaking the code every 24 hours. But the Navajos got in a fight. A young man carrying the radio for the lieutenant. The lieutenant got killed and the sergeants got killed. And the Navajo boy got on the radio and he started speaking his language. Just by coincidence, there was a Navajo in the command post. And he told the other radio operator to speak English. And he said, "I'm so scared, and I can't stop to think how to say those words in English. So I'm going to talk my language." The Code Talkers' language has never been broken. And they were finally awarded a medal in the last 3 to 5 years. I am an elder amongst my tribe, which consists of 4,479 people, and my number is 5. That does not make me a chief. That just means I was there when they started counting them. This dance I do is for the elders, those that can't be here, those that are in wheelchairs, those that walk with a cane. I can't look at the people when I do this dance because they see their grandfather in me. But I also see them as grandchildren in respect to the elders of my people. Thank you, Rick.
Levi Walker. Medicine Morris, if you would, please.